Hello, I'm Ola Saastamoinen from the Finnish Environment Institute. Welcome to listen to a short summary of our recent workshop about multi-hazard governance in Finnish forests. We started the morning with coffee and snacks and then had a series of presentations to familiarize the participants with the topic. We were around 15 participants, both researchers and forestry experts from governmental organizations, and we worked in small groups and explored the topic of multi-hazard governance in forests and ended the day with a little summary of the discussions and outlined some next steps. The first presentations were about EIFFEL and Adapt First, two projects with which collaborated on this workshop. Then we had presentations about the three hazards, droughts, forest fires and pests, as well as a wider angle on forest risk studies. The presenters were from Finnish Environment Institute and from participating organizations Finnish Meteorological Institute and Natural Resources Institute Finland. The workshop relates to the multi-hazard risk framework, in which we wish to look at the interaction of the three hazards together, whether the hazards appear at the same time or separately following each other. The quantitative analysis helps us better understand the impact these hazards have, while stakeholders are needed for interpreting what the impact will be in the forest sector and how these risks can be managed and jointly coordinated. All this relates to the complex challenge of climate change mitigation and adaptation. The workshop had three aims. First, we wanted to envision the future. We recognized the need to come together and jointly coordinate the efforts when it comes to forest risks. We hope to build a more cohesive and effective approach to forest risk management. And by using scenarios, we can anticipate various outcomes and better prepare for them. We also wanted to identify challenges and needs, because coordination, while valuable, is not without its challenges. It's essential for us to map out those challenges that might arise when we develop effective risk governance. And equally important is understanding the tools and resources that can make this coordination more effective. And by addressing these needs and opportunities head on, we can pave the way for smoother collaboration. And lastly, we wanted to engage the experts by bringing these more than a dozen experts from different backgrounds related to forest risks together. We can hopefully facilitate insightful discussions among these professionals and hope that everyone learns something new. For the participants, we had prepared a scenario to be discussed in small groups. How to reduce the extent of damage when a prolonged drought has caused widespread forest fires and pest damage. We encouraged the participants to sketch out what the successful coordination of these three risks would look like. Through discussing actors, resources, challenges, forms of interaction, and desired outcomes, they piece together a picture of joint coordination of forest risks. The two groups had a slightly different focus. One group focusing on a realistic scenario with current interaction, challenges, and resources, while the other was focusing on an ideal scenario with unlimited resources, where they could change whatever was necessary in order to achieve the goal of successful coordination. And the main difference between these two scenarios is that the ideal scenario is able to focus more on how things should be instead of getting stuck with the challenges that currently exist. Participants discussed relevant actors and their role, interaction between them, such as what is being discussed, what is the threshold for getting in touch, which actor should be discussing if they're currently not, what sort of information would be helpful in facilitating interaction, etc. Also, the procedures and processes of coordination were discussed alongside the challenges. When mapping the actors, it was recognized that a wide variety of them operate in the field, but it's mainly the research organizations which deal with all three hazards. Otherwise, the administrative duties are more siloed between different sectors. Different challenges were also recognized, such as dealing with legal aspects, which sometimes hinder quick action. For example, the right of entrepreneurs to conduct their business, concerns about resources, gaps in information and awareness, as well as a lack of information systems for easier knowledge transfer and sharing. Also, there are also conflicting interests, such as those between economic and ecological values. But even in the face of these challenges, there are also opportunities to enhance this forest risk management. We can improve preparedness, we can leverage data and technology for better decision making. We can improve education and training available for forest experts. We can use data to prioritize high-risk areas at a right time, and we can foster greater collaboration among stakeholders. Based on the discussion, more advanced solutions could include adopting a systems thinking approach, where we look at forest risks through a very broad lens and see the interlinkages between different systems, as well as employing data models and simulations to predict these risks more accurately, which would benefit from the input of forest owners. We could also establish new permanent bodies for ongoing oversight and coordination, which would bring all the sectors together and clarify the responsibilities of different actors. So what happens next is that the material will be analyzed for research purposes, and we hope to utilize it to enhance the impact of the project results, now that we better understand the limitations and what opportunities exist. Something we also wish to do is to work towards producing policy recommendations about improving multi-hazard governance in forests. Thanks a lot for listening.